You know, most of my life, all I ever cared about was anything that was dark and creepy and metal music. But you know what? Recently, I have felt the need for something a little bit more different. Well, welcome back. You've decided to return. Well, good, because today we are returning back to SB19, and we're starting off with what nobody understands about Stell. Had some really good feedback on the one for Justin, so I figured let's kind of tackle the group, like each individual person, and then we'll do the story of the group. That's kind of the idea, but you know, I'm always subject for change if that's not how you want to see it. So, but today we're gonna do one about Stell. So let's check it out, shall we?
Hoy, malapit na graduation namin. Eh di hoy, congrats!
Stell, wala, nag-send ka ng stars na tatlo.
Kaya nga ako nagtatrabaho sa SB19 kasi...
I have a feeling this is gonna be a lot of fun. Alright.
Kailangan ko din eh.
Kasi pumunta ako doon, kumbaga, para ipakita ko ng skill ko. Pero yun talaga pa rin yung napapansin ng mga tao.
A lot of people dream about the perfect life Stell has, full of love, talent, and people who support him unconditionally. Stell's life seems flawless, but behind it is a different reality. For years, Stell's talent seems to have been ignored, and some haters even resort to seeing him as the group's visual hole. So in today's video, it's his time to shine because he obviously and rightfully so deserves it.
What?
You know, I've done quite a few videos of theirs now, of their music and, you know, even just some of their other TV show stuff. And let me tell you, not just a visual. He's an incredible vocalist. I have no qualms about saying that.
Stelvester Ajero's adventure started in Las Piñas City, Philippines. Aside from singing, Stell's parents also loved watching classic Hollywood action movies, so he was named after Sylvester Stallone. He's the eldest child among 3 siblings. Stell has been dancing ever since he was a kid because his parents used to ask him to dance in front of their relatives at family gatherings. Stell grew up as a happy and playful kid. In fact, he was very good in children's games such as Habulantaya, Tagu-Taguan, Takyan, and even basketball. There was a time when he was playing basketball with Ivan, his younger brother, and he did a nasty crossover that sent his brother disoriented into a parked car, giving him a big lump on his forehead. And you might not believe this, but Stell has a grandma who can see ghosts and even revealed that she used to see a headless child figure in their restroom. There was also an instance when Stell got possessed by a paranormal entity, which led to him having a fear of ghosts since then.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Stell had his high school days at St. Mark's Institute, and he was very active as a student. He had multiple extracurricular activities like joining the school choir as the only male soprano and also joining the dance sports club, performing ballroom dance and even Filipino folk dance, which explains why he performs
ballroom right up my alley. Thank you for the grants.
so effortlessly. In his second year, he joined a hip-hop dance club called Campus Image Revolt, and this was when he started winning. They won the Skechers Street Dance Battle Year 3 and also became a finalist the next year after.
Stuff like that would happen.
This was Stell at 13 years old. And he was already this good? Sheesh! After high school, he studied college in STI Makati for a degree in hotel and restaurant management. This was when he enhanced his talent in cooking and baking.
Yo,
he can do that too. As expected, he kept dancing in college. Some of his crewmates from Las Piñas even followed him there. Just check out this cool tryout clip. Some people had no idea how good Stell already was. I think he was with Jello of Yara here, if I'm not mistaken. People were teasing him at first, but when they started dancing, they went speechless. See for yourself.
1, 2, 3, nice Stell! Nice one, Stell!
Holy cow. You know, in a world of SB19, it's kind of hard to say that not a single one of them is just an ace.
Yo, Stell can even breakdance? Sheesh, guys.
I'm gonna turn off the, I don't know how that's gonna turn off. That is legit.
After that, he went on to become a part of STI Makati's dance image and won the national championship in 2011.
Holy cow.
And you know what's crazy? He did all that while working at McDonald's and teaching dance to kids with special needs, which is a clear testament of Stell's sincere
way
love
cool.
and patience for kids. But with many
You know, I have to always say, for me personally, like this is my own personal opinion, but if it's legal and ethical, there's no such thing as a bad job. If you're working at McDonald's, if you're working as a janitor, it's an honorable job.
great deeds comes a heavy price. Stell's body took a toll as he had been overworking himself, resulting in yearly developing acute pulmonary edema. Almost all of his extra money he made went straight to his hospital bills. Stell had to stop everything he was doing in order to recover, and his aunt offered to fly him to Japan to become a babysitter for his younger relatives. He stayed there for 6 months, which explains why he can speak Nihongo. This brings us to
That's
another
crazy.
crazy story. Stell's aunt had a rich Japanese friend who took a liking to Stell's overall personality and attempted to arrange a marriage with him. This friend had big businesses and was already set up for life. So if Stell said yes, it would have been a good decision. But Stell said no and chose to go back to the Philippines instead to chase his dreams. He met his former crewmates again and then later formed Seon. Because of their experience and winning mentality, they immediately found success by winning multiple local dance competitions. They competed in every dance contest they knew and won most of them. And
Holy
because
cow.
of that, they started gaining fans. One of those fans was Josh.
No
It's
way.
actually quite obvious just looking at his past tweets. Stell's performances sparked Josh's passion for dancing, so he started training himself and eventually was taken under Stell's wings. Josh
That's
was technically
wild.
older than Stell, but he saw him as his big bro because he knew for a fact
Tell me that this is not a destiny thing, right? How does that happen? How does that happen and then you not end up going into the same musical group? How you end up having this crazy career together? Tell me that's not destiny.
that there's a lot to learn from him. Fast forward to late 2013, they became official co-members and went on to win multiple international titles.
Holy cow.
One of their biggest breaks was at K-pop festival in Incheon in 2014. Their whole stay and the competition itself was televised, and I'm telling you, there were moments that straight up just proved how much of a monster Stell already was. One part of the show was the mentoring session where renowned Korean choreographers would judge their dance routine.
파워풀한 동작이
우쟁.
돋보이는 필리핀 방탄소년단 커버댄스 팀.
And Stell's group was the only one that impressed them.
너무 잘한다고 생각했는데 표정에서 힘이 든 게 너무 드러나는 거예요. 유지하는 게 중요할 것 같고 처음에 초반에 이렇게 하는 부분 있잖아요. 딱딱하게 잡는 거 말고 부드럽게 해.
That is one thing that I always remember so vividly when I was in ballroom at college, and there was that was something I struggled with. It's like, because you're trying to remember you're trying to remember the choreography, you're trying to remember your spots, trying to make sure that you don't drop your partner on the lift, all that stuff, and only just for that to be you get back and you see your recordings, you go back and see like your performance, because we would study tapes and stuff like that when we did that. And the very first thing that I remember hearing almost every single time is, Aaron, you got to remember your face has to be showing the sportsmanship, or not the showmanship. You got to make sure that you're kind of like nailing the theme of the song, because a lot of times, depending on what dance you were doing, you had to be portraying the emotion of the dance, and I could never remember that. It's always super hard because you're just trying to actually think of not messing up.
해야 하는 부분에서 조금 더 부드러운 느낌을 살려야 될 것 같아요. 그거를 염두를 해가지고 연습을 하면은 봤을 때 더 좋은 무대가 될 것 같아요.
It gets crazier when they play the dance relay game with the K-pop group Fiestar. Do you know what Stell did? He single-handedly and accurately danced each random K-pop song that were given to him.
We saw that.
Just take a look at their reaction.
완벽한 안무 재현에 강한 힌트가 될 포인트 안무까지 듣자마자 어깨를 들썩이게 한 그야말로 에이스 B팀의 최고 에이스 팀원. 이번에도 정확한 안무를 보여줍니다.
They couldn't believe it. We pretty much witnessed his visual, auditory, and kinesthetic memory being already on a different level, even at the earlier stages of his career.
That's so
Fast
crazy.
forward to the final show, Stell and Josh killed it and won it all. Stell was asked what his dream was, and here's what he said.
My dream is to dance with my favorite idol, Bangtansonyondan.
Later that night, that dream came true. It's so crazy how powerful a person's will could be to the point that he
Holy
can make
cow.
things happen. So after that, Seon kept competing locally and eventually crossed paths with the other would-be SB19 members. Not as friends, but as competitors. Show BT then held an audition which led to forming the greatest P-pop group ever assembled in the history of Filipino music. Their start was not smooth sailing. In fact, there was a point when all of the other members quit and it was only Stell who remained. He kept training despite what happened, and Justin joined him from time to time while studying. This went on for weeks until the other members decided to come back. If you want to know more about their story as a group, check out the SB19 story series I made. Link down in the description. You can also join the highest tier membership of the channel, because not only you are credited as an executive producer, but you're also helping the channel and producing stories that deserve to be heard, just like SB19 stories, for example. So having all those positive things said about Stell, why does he still have haters? What is it that people don't understand about him? For me,
jealousy.
It's simple. They're just jealous.
Yeah.
These people choose not to attack him on his talent because they're obviously no match against it. Just take a look at this clip.
I did that video. You know, I think in a lot of senses, now, again, this is absolutely no disrespect to anybody or anyone, but to me, in a lot of senses, whenever I listen to Stell, I kind of feel very similar to him as I do for Jimin from BTS. It's just like, I don't understand why he's the one who gets the hate. I don't understand why no one wants to recognize the talent. And, you know, they have kind of similar vocal ranges as well, so I think it just kind of feels a little paralleled in a lot of senses, and it's one of those things that I'm just like, guys, come on. They're just people performing music, no need for the hate.
So instead, they attack him on his physical appearance.
I'll be honest, only Joe Kentian have passable visuals. Most casual viewers would react the same way too. I'd suggest plastic surgery. Why not? It's 2020.
Stell couldn't help but respond to it. And his reply broke my heart. Hello, I'll also be honest. I know I'm not handsome, I admit it.
You're
But as I've
wild.
always said, I'm here to show my talent. If I didn't pass in your eyes, it's okay as long as my teacher passed me. Good morning and have a nice day. The comment of the fan didn't make sense at all. I mean, is this not passable for her?
Yeah, what is
Come
that?
on, man. Not only is Stell beautiful outside, but also in the inside.
I agree with
He
that.
even inspires every people around him, and Josh is the living proof of that.
Hi, Stell. Happy birthday. Honestly, hindi ko alam saan mag-start. Pero, nakita ko lahat ng paghihirap
Pero-
mo ever since from the start. Simula na nakita kita, ina-idolize na kita. Ikaw yung nagbigay sa akin ng inspiration para maging performer. Kasi, kung wala namang sa'yo, walang Stell, diba? Hindi ako makakarating dito kung nasaan ako ngayon. Nung una ko kayo nakita, super na-amaze talaga ako tulad ng paulit-ulit ko sinasabi. At hanggang ngayon, ikaw pa rin yung ina-idolize ko.
Aw.
Feeling ko, yung talent mo talaga, pang work class talaga. Walang, ano ba, wala. Ang hirap sabihin ng word, pero talagang, alam mo yun, hindi basta-basta mapapantayan. Alam ko, tiwala ako sa'yo. Kaya nga, kahit saan, I mean, diba? Kahit anong
Just feel it, bro. Just let the
kahit
emotions
anong
happen, man.
klase ng performances, alam ko kaya natin, kaya mo. Dahil ganun ako tiwala sa Ayun, I hope you enjoy your day. Sana matupad pa natin yung mga pangarap natin. Marami pa tayong pagdadaanan at marami tayong pinagdadaanan as of now. Pero alam ko na pagsama-sama tayo,
Sorry, I thought I heard someone knocking.
magiging okay din lahat. Kakayanan natin lahat. Ayun, still, happy birthday. Wishing you all the best. You deserve all the love.
At this point, you probably already realized that Stell is an ultimate husbando. Imagine yourself waking up in the morning with him serving breakfast. Breakfast made by a man who can cook and bake. Someone who can sing you to sleep using his heavenly voice or take you on the dance floor. A guy who can teach you how to breakdance or conduct voice lessons for you. An actor, a choreographer, a singer, a rapper, a natural comedian. Someone who can easily do them impromptu. Yes, I mean freestyle. A God-fearing person and a philanthropist. Sometimes it makes me think, Stell must have been outside when God summoned the rain that grants unlimited talent. Because that's exactly how most people would describe him.
Yeah, pretty much.
But you know what? I actually don't believe that. Because of his story, I learned that Stell worked hard for everything he has achieved today. There was a point in the story when he was already a winner, and all he gotta do was to get married. But instead, he decided to love himself enough to want better, decide better, seek better, and move in the direction of something better. He decided to ask himself, what is the next level of me? Am I done evolving? The things he accomplished were already in the past. They were over. He realized that he can't get points today for the things he's done yesterday. He started living while making a statement every day. He wanted to become the things that he sees. He had problems with his education, but he never complained and instead put in the work. He became selfless. He's now living his life with a sense of purpose, and he wants to make a difference in everybody's life and everybody he comes in contact with. Simply put, he refuses to be another man who lives his life with no significance. This brings us to his favorite praise. Be your own reason to smile.
Very good. Gotta give them their flowers, everybody. All right, cool. So here's my last little tidbits about kind of going off what he said. The truth of the matter is that I think one thing that kind of always gets conflated is that when people are naturally talented, they don't have to work, for what they have, which I think is not necessarily true. Personally, one of my favorite things is just that if you are naturally talented at something, then you train and then you work hard, you just kind of more or less have that advantage over people that may not be as talented. For example, I talk about how I play guitar. Personally, I actually don't think I'm a very good guitarist because my fingers are very, very clunky and they don't move as well as some of the other people that I see when they play, really good. And then, in fact, I feel like that it's kind of crazy to me that I played for 8, 10, 12 years, but in reality, I feel like that all I can do is just kind of some basic rhythm guitar. Not even I shouldn't say basic, but I'm not out there performing Van Halen or Dragon Force or anything like that. It's just something that I realize that there's some things musically that I'm not as talented at than I am on certain other things. But there's also some things too that I think are kind of crazy. For me personally, I've been more of a vocalist more than anything my whole life. Ever since I was a kid, I wanted to be able to sit down and replicate anybody. So I remember how hard it was to get to the lowest of lows and start singing stuff like Typo Negative and trying to, replicate Peter Steele, who has just this immensely deep voice. But at the same time too, I also liked groups like Dragon Force and Iron Maiden, and trying to get that range was also really, really hard. But after a while, maybe just because the practice and maybe because there's more talent there and more capacity there than maybe on the guitar. And I'll straight up tell you, I am terrible at drums too. I've owned drum sets. I have a cajon now, and I'll tell you, it's just really, really hard for me to do that stuff. So kind of tying it all back, when it comes to someone like Stell, the truth is that if you can see that talent and then develop the talent, then it kind of feels like you have that head start, because in a sense you do. But pretty cool though. I really, really like that. For me, I think Stell was always the first one that kind of stood out to me. Again, with everything, I always feel like there's going to be some preconceived notions that I have just going into something, because and I can kind of say that I've seen this in some of the comments where people will just be like, oh, this is just a ripoff of K-pop, or this is just a ripoff of this, that, and the other. And I think the idea is that there always has to be a base on what and start from there, and then you make and do what you can break away from after you use that as a base, right? For example, for me, as much as people hate for me to say this, at least in the metal world, but for me, playing music that's more sounds like Metallica is more my stuff. So whenever I write anything that's in the world of metal, it's usually something between a cross of Metallica and Pantera, because that's what I like. That's the base that I use. Then once you start getting good enough, then you start branching out into the other stuff, and that's just kind of how it works. So I do think that in the end of it all, though, they did end up finding their identity, which I think is really cool. So yeah, anyway, very cool. Now we just got the other members. I think we still have Josh, Pablo, and Ken. So, and then after that, we're going to do the group as a full. So the story series. Anyway, I hope that you liked this as much as I did. This is pretty sick. I really, really, really like these. It's really well done. Good job. Good job. All right. Thank you. We'll see you for the next one. Bye.